Hello, my dear friends. This is I'm Master Teacher, Little Dear channel, and today's topic is lunar and solar eclipse. This is the topic of geography. Now, let's will study what is the lunar and solar eclipses. See here, this is the celestial bodies, sun, moon, and earth. The moon is the satellite of earth. As we know that moon is the satellite of the earth and it moves in the orbit around the earth. Here is also, this is the moon, earth and sun. Here is the lunar eclipse shown in this figure. Solar eclipse when moon is between the earth and sun, and in the lunar eclipse earth is middle and moon between the moon and sun. That we have to remember in the mind. Yes. Now see, what is an eclipse? First of all, this is the main topic. What is eclipse? An eclipse occurs when one object in space blocks an observer from seeing another object in space. From earth there are two main types of eclipses: solar eclipses and lunar eclipses. First of all, occurs when eclipse occurs. How it occurs? One object in a space blocks an observer. It blocks to the observer from seeing another object. If you want to see the another object and it blocks, that is the from earth there are two main types of eclipses, that is the solar eclipse and lunar eclipse. See here, the solar eclipse here is shown and here is the lunar eclipse shown. What is the solar eclipse? As we know and as we have seen in the last figure, a solar eclipse occurs when the moon passes in front of the sun, causing a shadow. It causes shadow. The moon is the satellite of the earth. When it moves around in the orbit around the earth, and when it comes between the sun and earth, when it comes middle or when it comes in the orbit in the earth and moon, that time the solar eclipse form. How? The rays of the sun stop still here and the shadow forms on the earth. Yes, and this is the solar eclipse occurs when the moon passes in front of the sun, causing a shadow to fall on the certain portion of the earth. The eclipse is not seen from every place on earth, but only from the locations where the shadow falls. When shadow it falls from these locations, it appears as if the sun has gone dark, and this is the solar eclipse. Understood? Next, now see the solar eclipse. There are three main parts of the moon's shadow during the eclipse called the umbra, penumbra and antumbra. These are the three main, the main parts of this solar eclipse. See, umbra means what? The umbra is, umbra is the portion. What is umbra? Is the portion of the moon, of this moon shadows, where the moon completely covers the sun. That is the part known as the umbra. And antumbra means what? The area of the shadow beyond point of the umbra, beyond point of the umbra. And here the moon is completely in front of the sun but doesn't cover the entire sun, and that is the antumbra. That portion is known as antumbra. And penumbra is what? See, the area of the shadow where only a portion of the moon is in front of the sun, that is the penumbra. Here is shown here penumbra, umbra, and this is the sun rays, and here is the moon. This is the umbra, antumbra and penumbra. Yes. Now see next, types of eclipse. Depending on what part of the shadow you are located in, which part of the shadow you are located in, there are three types of eclipses. First one is total, second is annular, and third one is partial. Total is the total eclipse is where the sun is covered completely by the moon. It total eclipse is where, here is the, see, here is the total, annular, and here is the partial. See, third one is the partial. Total eclipse is where the sun is covered completely by the moon. See here, moon is here and completely covered to the this part, and this portion is on the earth. Annular eclipse is when the moon covers the sun, but the sun can be seen around the edge of the moon, and this is called as, after this total, this is the annular. And third one is the partial. Partial, you know, the some part of it, partial. Partially we can say that a partial eclipse is when only a portion of the sun is blocked by the moon. Here is the only a some portion is blocked. Now here is the this part, this is known as partial eclipse. Now next, don't look at the solar eclipse. You know, our mother and father, when you are in the small age, that time says that in that it is the some period it comes, and we do not comes out from the house also, and we do not see to the sun. Why don't look at a solar eclipse? Why we should not be see it? Never look directly at the solar eclipse, even though it appears darker. The harmful rays of the sun can still damage our eyes or your eyes. Means it is so hard, and harmful rays can enter inside the it can falls in the retina, and it can damage to our eye. Now see the lunar eclipse. In the lunar eclipse when lunar eclipse occurs when the moon passes through the earth shadow. Lunar eclipses have the some three phase or types. Solar eclipses including the umbra, that is the total, antumbra, that is the annular, and penumbra, that is the partial. In this, the same processes happens, but the different names are there when lunar eclipse happens. How? See, when you know earth, and earth has the satellite, that is the moon, and it moves around the earth and in the orbit. And when this pass through the orbit, when it comes to the side of the earth, a lunar eclipse occurs when the moon passes through the earth shadow. When, see here, here is the sun and here is the earth. You know, moon is the satellite of earth, and it moves around the earth. Earth is the planet, and which moves around the sun, and that's why when it moves, that time what happens, this is the earth's way we can say, or orbit we can say. And when this moon also passes, moon is here, and when it comes under the shadow of the earth, that time lunar eclipse forms or happens. When the lunar eclipse occurs, when the moon passes through the earth shadow, the shadow of the earth falls on the moon, and that's why this lunar eclipse happens. Lunar eclipse have the same three phase or the types as the solar eclipse, including the umbra, that is the total we can say, antumbra, annular, and penumbra, that is the partial. As we have studied, the same things happens in the due to the shadow of the earth on the moon from the this sun. Okay, now next, this is the lunar eclipse. Lunar eclipses can be seen by the much larger area of the earth than the solar eclipse. Much larger area than the solar eclipse. They also can be viewed without a special equipment to protect the eyes. Lunar eclipses are not totally dark. These lunar eclipses are not totally dark, because why? We are on the earth and the shadow of the earth is falls on the moon. That's why there is no much more darker space on the earth side. And see here interesting facts about the eclipses. There are some facts are given, and which are uh, the longest that a solar eclipse will last is 7.5 minutes. The longest and what is the longest solar eclipse will last is 7.5 minutes. Maximum 7.5 minutes of the this solar eclipse in the last. The most solar eclipses of any type that can occur on the earth within a year is 5. Means it occurs 5 times in a year. The most solar eclipses of any type that can occur on the earth, that is the 5 times within a year. The total solar eclipse occur about every 1.5 years. Solar eclipse one after 1.5 means 1.5 year it occurs. Animals sometimes become confused because during this period of the these eclipses, animals sometimes confused and behave strangely during the total eclipses of the sun. Sometimes dogs barks, the birds chits, and that's why because of that the this in this period the animals also can understand that somewhere, and because of that animals become confused in that period and behave strangely during this total eclipse of the sun. And it was the topic about that that are the lunar and solar eclipses. Lunar and solar eclipses. In short but sweet, we can understand when solar eclipse happens or occurs when the moon is between the earth and sun and the shadow of the moon falls on the earth. And lunar eclipse when it the earth is between the moon and sun, and due to the this earth it the shadow of the earth falls on the moon, and this is the lunar eclipse. So it was the topic. I hope that you have understood about this, and if you like it, share, subscribe and like it. Thank you so much.